All right, good evening, everybody. I'm going to call the session of the Ridgefield City Council to order. Would you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mayor Pro Tem Chipman?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Ms. Julie, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Davis.
Present.
Councilmember Favela. Here. Councilmember Wells.
Here.
Councilmember Burkle.
Present.
Councilmember Hamilton. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Chipman.
Here.
Mayor Cole.
Here. Thank you very much. Mr. Stewart, any late changes to the agenda?
No late changes, Mayor.
Okay, we're going to move right into public comment. Anybody wishing to address City Council regarding items not subject to a specific public hearing may come forward to at this time to the podium or use the raise hand feature located at the bottom of the toolbar of your Zoom screen. For controls of the phone, press star 9 for raise hand and press star 6 to mute or unmute. Please state your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anybody in the room tonight who would like to give public comment?
Hi, I'm not on.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's as long as it's blue, you're going to be okay. There's
Okay.
just not coming through the system tonight. So.
Okay. Jean Stamp, I'm with Friends of the Ridgefield National Wildlife Refuge, and I just want to make sure everybody knows and personally invite everybody to the ribbon cutting of the new Community Nature Center. And that will be on May 3rd from noon to 4, with the ribbon cutting being at 1 o'clock. And it's open to everybody, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else wishing to give public comment this evening? All right, Miss Julie, anybody online?
Not seeing anyone online.
Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment and we'll just move straight into our consent agenda. Council, I would accept the motion as presented.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented. Second.
It's been moved by Burkle, seconded by Davis. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you, council. Motion carries. All right. Our first item of business this evening is a motion to approve the G Creek Loop Improvements Construction Contract. This will be presented by Ms. Lang. Over to you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Back in October 2023, it is blue, yes. Council approved the design contract for the G Creek Loop CDBG project. The project will mitigate flooding of private properties uphill of G Creek Loop development caused by overland flow of various stormwater. The project includes new asphalt, a valley gutter for stormwater control, partial water main replacement, sidewalk improvements, ADA curb ramps, as well as a rectangular rapid flashing beacon that crosses G Creek Loop on to the southeast of Abrams Park. It crosses Pioneer. The low bidder for the project is North Cascade Excavating for $755,101.40. We're also asking for a $100,000 contingency fund for a total of $855,101.40. The engineer's estimate was $1,027,144.55. The funding for the project is comprised of CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant, of $195,000, as well as a combination of Public Works Board Loan, the Transportation Benefit District, and Water System Development charges. Any questions?
Council, any questions? Start with Councilor Davis.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I am just curious. So engineer's estimate was just a pinch over $1 million. We're at about 75% of that. Is that the same scope or just we're in a good spot?
We are in a very good spot.
Awesome.
I think contractors are hungry is what's going on right now.
Hey, sounds good.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions or comments at this point? All right, that's easy. Well, if that's the case in council, I would accept a motion for the approval of this item.
I move to approve awarding the contract for the construction of the G Creek Loop Improvements Project to North Cascade Excavating for the amount of $755,101.40 plus an additional $100,000 in contingencies for a total of $855,101.40.
I'll second.
Oh, I heard moved by Hamilton. I'm going to say seconded by Chipman on that one. Council, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, council. Motion carries. All right. Okay. Our second item of business this evening is a motion to approve the Ridgefield Heights Phase 5 final plat. Ms. Lust, over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council and members of the public. Can you hear me okay at this volume?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so the item before you this evening is the Ridgefield Heights Phase 5 final plat. As a bit of a reorientation, here's a location map before you. Next slide, please. The original preliminary plat was approved in 2007 and then came back through a post-decision review in 2017 that established the current layout. On the screen before you, showing Phase 5 in the northwest portion of the overall development. Next slide. All right, the screen shows the Phase 5 final plat. Phase 5 has 35 single-family detached residential lots, ranging from 7,500 square feet to just under 14,000 square feet, with the average lot area being approximately 9,600 square feet. These lots all take access from public streets. Phase 5 also has a storm facility to be owned and maintained by the HOA with access and inspection to the city. A large open space and trail tract to the north there of the platted lots to be owned and maintained by the HOA, again, public access easement. The trail system in that tract connects to South First Way to the north, to the existing open space and trail system in Phase 4 to the east, which in turn connects to the trails and open space amenities in Phases 1 through 3 of this project. There's also a direct trail connection between lots 161 and 162 in the southeast corner there of Phase 5 that connects to the common area amenities in Phase 4, which include that covered picnic shelter. As usual for final plats, we go through extensive survey, engineering, and land use review. Of note for this project, engineering review punch list items are closing out this week, as described in the staff report. And as a condition of approval recommended here, the applicant would be required to obtain engineering approval for engineering acceptance for Phase 5 prior to the city signing the Phase 5 final plat Mylar, which is the step prior to it actually recording. I believe that is all I have to note in my report this evening, and I'll pass it back to you, Mayor, for any questions.
Great, thank you, Ms. Lust. Council, I'll look to you for questions for staff on this. Councilor Favela.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know that we have considered bringing this to the agenda, but we removed it to make sure some of those last minute items were taken care of, and just to confirm those items have been taken care of up to this point, which is why we brought it back tonight.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Other questions or comments at this point? All right. If there are no other questions or comments, council, I'd accept a motion.
I move to approve the Ridgefield Heights Phase 5 final plot as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Burkle, seconded by Davis. Any remaining discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you, council. Motion carries. 1 second. All right, our next item of business this evening is the resolution number 676. This is the Stadelman and Leach intent to annex. Ms. Luss, we'll go back over to you.
Thank you again, Mayor. So before you, here is a request for intent to annex. As a reminder, intent to annex is the first stage of an annexation process. The action, if taken tonight, would be a resolution, and then if authorized, then the applicants could come back for the second phase, which is the petition to annex, which is the phase that includes public notice, public hearing, and action on an ordinance. So with that, this property is located in the G Creek Plateau. It's comprised of 3 parcels adjacent to one another and adjacent to the city limits, both to the north, up there at Cedar Creek or Cedar Ridge. I always get them mixed up, but Cedar Ridge. And then to the south, the roadway there through the plateau has already been annexed, so that's part of the city limits as well. The total area is 17 acres. Procedurally, this application meets the requirements to come before council for an intent to annex. Greater than 10% of property owners signed the declaration of intent to annex. The parcels are in the UGA and adjacent to city limits. So at your meeting this evening, council, I'm happy to take any questions. And then action again would be on a resolution accepting the intent to annex with or without geographic modification, as is our typical procedure for annexations. So with that, Mayor, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you again, Ms. Lust. Council, any questions for staff on this petition? Councilor Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Have we had any dialogue with neighboring parcel owners? Like, especially to the west there, looks like we're gonna have like a gap between this cluster and the eastern edge of Ridgefield Heights.
At this time, we have not, and I do not believe the applicant has had conversations with their neighbors.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Great, thank you. Other questions? Just looking at this area here, I know we've been talking about the 35th Street extension area. Like, does this actually go through, is it the green alternative, or is it independent of that?
The green alternative conceptually would run kind of along the eastern edge of these properties. You can see 35th there, it's north-south street. Yeah.
Okay, and the applicants, presumably their intent is to develop that, right, for residential development, and I'm assuming they're pretty apprised of some of the, what we're planning right there as well?
Correct. I know Mr. Stadelman was at the last open house for that project here about a month ago.
Okay, cool. Councilor Burkle.
Yes, please. The property at the little white square down on the bottom on the right.
The one that's like the little notch out of the
right by
bottom
the
right corner.
bend. Is that's not in the city?
That is not yet in the city. It's not in the city. It's in the UGA. It, I believe, is under common ownership with those 2 larger parcels to the east of this proposed annexation area.
All right, thank you.
Okay, other questions or comments for staff at this point? Okay, hearing none. Council, I would accept a motion for action on this item.
Mr. Mayor, I move the approval of resolution number 676, Stadelman and Leach intent to annex.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved by Wells, seconded by Favela. Any discussion, council? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, council. Motion carries. All right. And then our last item of business tonight is the second reading of ordinance number 1479. This is the approval of Urban Downs 2, Phases 2 and 3 Development Agreement. Ms. Lust, back over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a second reading on a development agreement that Council, you previously reviewed during your last meeting. It's for Urban Downs Phase 2 and 3, which you also approved the final plat for on March 23rd in your last meeting. And just as a reminder, the substance of the development agreement is centered on the townhome products that are part of that development. The key ingredients are the city permitting a partially attached townhome product in exchange for above and beyond design considerations. And with that, happy to take any questions. I will note that in your last meeting, Council, you brought up the question about the fence screening in the trash collection area and the height of that fence. Just as a note, in the version in your packet, the agreement still says up to 4 feet. I believe there is discussion of ensuring that was 4 feet. So that if that's still on the table, just to let you know that that would be an amendment. Thank you.
Great. Questions, council? I just want to, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it just for good measure. So on-street parking there, because I know these are townhomes, and we were looking at the driveways, and they're a little bit narrower, so I'm assuming on-street parking is permissible right there, correct? Do we see any parking issues? I know that because there's some other neighborhoods where this has been kind of an ongoing thing, and so I just want to make sure that we're thinking ahead on that.
Mayor, we'll have to get you information on that as far as the cross-section. Without knowing the width of the roadway itself, I can't tell you whether it's both sides or one side.
Okay.
I can tell you that because of the nature of the driveways, then it, by its very nature, will be one side, because on the side that the townhomes are on, it'll be very consistently driveways. And one of the things that is being allowed in this development agreement, if approved, is that instead of having a one-car garage and one-car driveway, which is what townhome products usually have under our existing code, each one of these would have a two-car garage and a two-car driveway, thus giving more opportunity for off-street parking. And then you're putting more of it into the driveway, means wider driveways, which means you have less on-street area on that frontage, so they park on the other side.
Okay.
So by its functional nature, it will be single side. I'll get you the information on the road width itself.
And that doesn't need to be included necessarily explicitly in the DA, right? Okay.
No, any of this will all go through development review approval as well. So.
Great, thank you very much. Other questions or comments at this point? No. Go ahead, Councilor Davis.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So going back to the 4-foot tall maximum height fence that we need to amend as we approve, I guess this might be even more of like a legal question. I'm assuming that we went with 4-foot height maximum just because of appearance, but I believe when we looked up the height of the bins, it was like 3'10" or whatever. I guess staff, what are we going to look for a range to go with? Because my guess is that if we go exactly 4 foot, that's almost too exact, and we don't want people getting dinged because it's 4'1" or whatever. You know what I mean? What's going to be the best way to put that forward that hits our mark?
So a couple parameters to consider. 3.5 feet is your typical maximum fence height in front of a home. For 4 feet's what was proposed by the applicant in the development agreement. 6 feet is the upper max for fence height in a residential zone, based on code.
Okay, so we're already 6 inches higher than normal, but it's for the intent of hiding the bin. Do you feel comfortable if we write in exactly 4 feet? Or is that getting too narrow that it's just going to invite technical non-compliance?
I think as staff, we would be comfortable with just having it say 4 feet.
And with any numeric standard, an applicant can always ask for a variance, and if it's within 10%, it's type 1 administrative variance. So ultimately, if they come in and they say, well, 4 feet, we have a cap we want to put on the top of it's a decorative fence, but we want to put a cap on that adds an inch or two. Can we do that? It's like, well, yeah, we can do that through an administrative variance that's type 1.
Okay.
So if you set it as 4 feet, we have numeric standards like that all over code where it has a specific number, but built into that process is working with the applicant to get to what makes sense.
That makes sense then. All right, I appreciate it.
Great. Other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Julie, would you please read the ordinance into the record?
Ordinance number 1479, ordinance of the City of Ridgefield, Washington, approving a development agreement with Lennar Northwest LLC for the development of the portion of the Urban Downs 2 residential community.
Great, thank you very much. Council, I would entertain a motion.
I move to adopt ordinance number 1479 as presented. Oh, aren't we supposed to do that? Yeah, we need to make an amendment.
That is certainly an appropriate motion. You can second, then you could amend the motion before you. Either way you want to do it.
Do you want to roll with that?
Yeah, and then we'll amend it.
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay, it's been moved by Hamilton. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Seconded by Chipman.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I would move to amend the motion to specify that the wood fence permitted in the front yard be set at 4 feet tall.
Okay, it has been moved to amend the motion to set the fence height to 4 feet tall specifically. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second.
Seconded by Wells. Okay, any discussion on the proposed amendment? Hearing none, I'll take a vote on the amendment. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, thank you. Now back to the original amended motion. Any remaining discussion? Okay, it has been moved by Hamilton, seconded by Chipman, and to approve as amended. Ms. Julie, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Favela.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Burkle.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamilton.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Chipman.
Yes.
Mayor Cole.
Yes, thank you very much, council. Motion passes. All right. Okay, that concludes our business for the evening. Super fast. We're gonna move back into public comment. Anybody wishing to address city council regarding items not subject to a specific public hearing may come forward at this time to the podium or use a raise hand feature located at the toolbar at the bottom of your Zoom screen. For controls over the phone, press *9 for raise hand and press *6 to mute or unmute. Please state your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anybody here who would like to give public comment? Ms. Swingley.
My name is Angela Zwingli. Today's Phase 5 final plat approval ended a 19-year Ridgefield Heights process for the public. I know hate is a strong word, but no other word better describes my feeling regarding the following. I hate confrontation. I hate contention. My normal tendency is to retreat to this quiet sanctuary of my home, but Mayor Cole inspired me in his remarks to stand up and show up for our community. This has been an emotionally challenging year for me and my family. One challenge was expected, but several were not. I know, such is life. However, I often thought of what Mayor Pro Tem Chipman said. If we here on City Council put our families first, none of us would be here. So I prayed to God for the strength to show up for both. Whenever I wanted to quit, I thought about the continuity I bring by living here for almost 30 years and my well-documented years of interactions with the city. I would ask myself, if not me, who? In the beginning, I thought I just needed to bring an oversight to the city's attention. I saw that as teamwork. I hate that there never was a city-promised information reset. I hate writing. I hate poring over documents. But I did it after our city manager told me a year ago that my concerns regarding unmet conditions of approval were merely my opinions. I hate that my neighbors and I individually were given conflicting information regarding the exact same questions in the same time period. I hate that quoting documents and city emails made no difference. I am deeply frustrated that city staff can make irreversible changes to approved agreements and plans without notifying the public or council. It makes the process and all the sacrifices that we all have made to show up feel like an incredible waste. I hate coming to a meeting where I'm recognized but no longer greeted. I hate, except for tonight, thank you. I hate that after all my time and sacrifice, I have become that woman, when I only ever asked that the conditions of approval and what was presented and voted on be honored. While this may seem like a small corner of Ridgefield, something that could be balanced out elsewhere, our area is forever changed. The new paths exceed all expectations, yet we stand to lose them along with even more trees. If the red option is chosen, we face another round of massive earthworks to lessen the grade, greatly increase the cost, and further cutting into the ravine before even getting to the creek and Bertsinger Crossing. If you haven't already, please come and walk the paths or just look at the red option location from the sidewalk before you choose the preferred option for the Pioneer Extension Project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else wishing to give public comment this evening? Ms. Julie, anybody online?
Not seeing anyone online.
Okay, hearing none, we are going to close public comment for the evening and move into council and staff reports. Let's start with our far left again. We'll start with Councilor Hamilton and work our way over.
Great, thank you. Few fun things happening. The Storybook Hollow ribbon cutting being one of them. The picture of the four of you gentlemen on the slide is one of my favorite photos that I've seen in a while. And it's a beautiful park. It was really a really well done, well executed project that I'm really happy to have in our community. I attended Ridgefield Massage's first anniversary, the Ridgefield Main Street Board of Directors meeting. We all did the tri-government meeting, and last night I did a Greet Magazine social event that was at our TMI building. That was lovely. So that's me. Thank you.
Good week. Councilor Burkle.
Thank you. Just a few things to comment on. I too attended the ribbon cutting up in Storybook Hollow. It's a remarkably beautiful location, and I might add there's much more to come up in Storybook Hollow. A tri-government meeting, always refreshing, always interesting. Port meeting yesterday, just a couple of things from the port. They're going to be putting some solar on one of their buildings, and they expect that the solar should create about $20,000 in funding that can go to help people struggling to pay their power bills. Also, they'll be installing EV charging stations at the waterfront, and they have 5 yards to go to finish their cleanup. So, good news there. Also, just a quick comment. Saturday is green bag food pickup. The need is greater than ever. So, those of you that participate, thank you. Those who have not thought about it, give it some consideration. As you know, the food is split between our school resource center and Neighbors Helping Neighbors. So thank you for giving that consideration.
Thank you, Councilor Burkle. I appreciate the update. Councilor Wells.
I also attended a ribbon cutting at Storybook Hollow. It was very, very enjoyable. Everybody went there. Lost about 40 years off of their age. And Mr. Burkle was the first one to slide down the 50-foot slide. I started down. I thought everybody was coming behind me, so I was hanging my leg over the outside edge, waiting for them. And I guess everybody wondered what I was doing. So finally, I dragged my leg in and went on down the rest of the way. But I did go to my dentist yesterday, and they made a comment that they seen me coming down the slide somewhere, maybe on Facebook or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do Facebook.
In the paper. It was right there in the Columbian.
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah, you were right there front.
And I didn't get the Columbian, so I never saw it. Anyway, also the tri-government meeting that we held here in this room a week ago was really, really good. We had some comments I think that we will be able to address in the future, but it's great having that so everybody can air what they have concerns with or what they are liking. And so that, and then tonight's the council. And one thing I'd like to add, I think, don't forget, Saturday the 18th is spring cleanup. Bring your garbage to 11th Street and help clean up the city. That's it.
Thanks, Councilor. Okay, good stuff. Councilor Favela, we'll go to you next.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I also attended the tri-government meeting. I have been pretty busy with the Opioid Abatement Council. They're in the middle of RFP, so I have about 12 organizations that we're reviewing to get those RFP done in a very short turnaround. Tonight I attended the Fire Commission meeting, and they are in pre-design for the new fire station. They did learn that there were some electrical boxes on the property that actually didn't have conduits to them, so they're able to move those if needed in that pre-design phase, so that will help with that. The boathouse has been towed for repair, so you'll see that the boathouse is gone, but it will be back once it's fixed. And they have a new engine and a new ambulance in production that is coming to the department. As a reminder, we will have the ECHO law enforcement panel discussion Tuesday from 9:30 to 11:30. Chief Doriot will be there, Chief Jackson representing Ridgefield. They did do a public notice, so any other elected officials, I do believe that we will have some local delegates also there to come and hear the conversation. So hope to see some of you there.
Where is that?
I will send you the invitation. It's at the, where they do the county, or the, I think it's the county, I don't recall off the top of my head. Not the county, it's down in Vancouver, downtown. I'll get the address, sorry. Thank you. Next week we will not have a council meeting, but I do want to recognize that next week is National Telecommunications Week. And this really is supporting, our 911 operators. And they really are the backbone of police, fire, all the people, all the calls that go to 911. They are the voice behind the phone, and just wanting to make sure that they are recognized. I get to do a tour of Cressa next week with Leadership Clark County, so I'm excited I actually get to be there during their week so I can tell them thank you for all they do in person. And then for those of you who don't know, this is news to me, but Washington Huskies baseball team will be here in Ridgefield playing the Portland Pilots April 21st, and you can buy tickets at ridgefieldraptors.com. And that's all I got.
Thanks, Counselor. Counselor Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I'll echo the same thoughts about the tri-government meeting. I thought it was great. Storybook Hollow, that is on my morning run path, so it's been really cool to see that develop and finally be able to do a ribbon cutting, and was not anticipating going down that slide. However many times I ran by it, I was like, that'll be fun for the kids, but there we sat. So that was cool. And I actually, it's spring break for me, so I was in Idaho for a few days. I just got back yesterday, and I went for a run. It was in Sun Valley. And, it's a real big outdoor recreation community. And so I did this awesome, I did kind of a longer run just because I could, but it was along this riverfront. And, you start out in town because that's where I started out. But I was able to go a nonstop, 4 miles, and then come 4 miles back along this one trail. And it really had me thinking, we're going to get there, but it really had me excited about us being able to finally have a system like that people can go and stretch it out and not have to go somewhere else. Another interesting thing for little crosswalks, they have this system where there's a stand with a bunch of flags, and you just grab one. And it's they're big neon flags, and you just take it across, and then when you're done, you just put it in the stand that's on the other side of the road.
Oh, nice.
So it's, instead of having the flashers, they have these flags, and apparently the drivers get very upset if you cross without grabbing the flag. So anyway, maybe it's an idea for us in some of the neighborhoods, something like that. I don't know. So anyway, that's what I got.
Good stuff. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, Counselor. Mayor Pro Tem, we'll go to you next.
So, again, just the Storybook Hollow ribbon cutting and the first anniversary of the massage. My great-grands were out at Storybook Park yesterday, and my 2-year-old evidently went up those strong stairs and went down the slide 4 times and had an absolute blast. So they were huge fans of Storybook Park already. And really, that was the only things that I was able to take part in because of the family wedding. But I am really happy about Green Bag being this weekend, being on the board of Neighbors Helping Neighbors. It is just a huge help for us. And So we so appreciate Ridgefield doing that, and Mr. Burkle being with Mr. Baumann leading that. And I think last month we got like 3,800 pounds, something like that, wasn't it? It seems like, yeah. So it's a lot of food that comes in, and believe me, we need it. It goes out, and we have a lot of people that come in for food, so love that program. So thank you very much if you participate in that. That's it for me.
Great, thank you very much. I guess from my end too, is just all things have been mentioned, but it was good to go to Storybook Hollow, cut the ribbon on that, see it opened up. There's been a lot of follow-on conversations about it, not just about 4 grown men going down the slide, which was fun. I was actually kind of scared to do it the first time, so I had my son do it to start, and then and then I did it. But what I like about that park is that this is it really is representative of the community input that we received. I mean, all of that was really born out of community input and wanting to make sure that we stayed true to what Ridgefield is, and so it just turned out fantastic. So to staff and to the contractors and everybody, good job on that. Ridgefield Massage had their 1-year anniversary. That was a fun one to attend. I said it at the time, but I thought it was interesting to do that a year in versus doing it at the time, because they got to celebrate sort of a look back and a milestone for them, and I think it was a really big deal for them. Just as a small business, as you know, like being a small business is not an easy gig ever, and especially right now. So it was good to be able to celebrate that with them. And then, of course, the Tri-Government meeting last week. What came out of that was I think some initially good discussion. What we realized is that there's more discussion I think that needs to be had. So I have a couple of follow-ups on that as well to talk with our counterparts and the different local governments there. So we'll having more discussion as we go on and hopefully kind of get better alignment on some of these issues like Rourke and the waterfront and all of that stuff. So, but other than that, it's been spring break, so I just got back into town. I was in the coast for the week too, so it's good to be back and good to enjoy some good weather. So, Councilor Burkle.
Just a comment regarding living in Ridgefield. This past week, there was an incident in the Rose Hours parking lot where a senior couple were trying to park, and instead of braking, hit the gas, drove over the 2 concrete barriers, took down a handicap parking sign, and bumped into a car.
Oopsies.
Within minutes, I would suggest to you, there were at least 6 people that responded spontaneously to offer assistance, get the car back in condition so they could drive, removed the handicap sign. Jim Buchan from AIG picked it up, took it to his shop to repair it. My point being, this is Ridgefield. There was instantaneous response, tools, jacks, everything, and the car was quickly put back into order. For me, it's heartwarming to see that happen, and I just wanted to share that.
Got it.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity to talk to Eric today, the store manager, and he said, I happened to be gone when it happened, but I watched it all on video. He looked at the video and that. One other comment I have on Storybook, I talked to an individual yesterday and said their 2 daughters just love it. And I said, which development do you live in? Oh, we don't live in Ridgefield, we just come there to the park. So that was before it even come out in the paper, I guess. So anyway, we have outsiders coming in, partaking of our amenities.
Love it. We love to hear it. Great. Thank you all. That concludes it from council, so we'll go to the city manager next.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council and the community. Just one quick update, and that is the location for the first responders panel that Councilor Favela mentioned. Chief Doria found the location. It is the 6th floor council hearing room at the Clark County Public Service Center in downtown Vancouver. So big public service center, 6th floor hearing room is where it's at. Lots obviously going on in the community. Nothing more for me to add. You've already covered a lot of the events that are either upcoming or just occurred. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Great, thank you. Council, any questions for city manager? All right, thank you. We'll go to Ms. Lang in Public Works next.
Hi, I have no updates, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Public Works? All right, thank you very much. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one update. We did start our state audit for the 2025 fiscal year. You will be getting a offer to come to the entrance conference. Julie and I are trying to work through some pretty difficult scheduling right now. So it will be probably near the end of this month, but look out for your emails. And when you get that, to make sure that whether we have to notice that or not, please get back to Julie or myself that you will or will not attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions for Finance? All right, we'll go to our City Attorney, Ms. Parker.
I have no report this evening. We will need an executive session. I'd like to discuss some property matters with you. Probably 20, I said 30, but I think 20 minutes will be the agreed time, and I'm happy to answer any other questions that you might have.
Great, thank you very much. Ms. Less, over to you in Community Development.
Nothing else from me, thank you, Mayor, but happy to take any questions.
Any questions? All right. And Ms. Notnaris?
Just one other event that is coming up. Shout out to Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem at Lava Java this Saturday from 8:30 to 11 for a council chat to answer any questions or have conversation about what's happening in Ridgefield. That's all I have.
We will be there and look forward to it. Thank you very much. And then lastly, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have anything to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. Is there any questions for Chief Dorrit? All right, as our city attorney did mention, we do have an executive session. This is pursuant to RCW 42.30.110, item 1C, to consider the minimum price for which real estate will be offered for sale or lease when public knowledge regarding such consideration would be a cause likelihood to decrease price. So we will go into executive session for 20 minutes, so that would put us at, well, let's just say 7:30. Yeah, okay, we'll do 7:30, and is there gonna be any action taken? I don't think any action, okay. No action. All right, the time is now 7:40 p.m. Council is returning from its executive session. No action will be taken tonight, and so with that, this city council meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.